Lance Armstrong's life story is a tale of extraordinary success, devastating downfall, and complex redemption. Lance Armstrong's early life and racing career before his cancer diagnosis were marked by significant achievements and a rapidly rising profile in the world of professional cycling. Born on September 18, 1971, in Plano, Texas, Armstrong was drawn to competitive sports from a young age, initially focusing on swimming and triathlons before fully dedicating himself to cycling. Growing up in Texas, Armstrong showed an early affinity for endurance sports. He began competing in triathlons as a teenager, quickly establishing himself as a formidable competitor. Armstrong's amateur cycling career was distinguished by several notable successes. He became the national amateur champion in 1991, which was a clear indication of his burgeoning talent. His performance caught the attention of the international cycling community and set the stage for his transition to professional racing. Armstrong turned professional in 1992 with the Motorola cycling team. His early professional career was characterized by rapid development and significant victories. In 1993, he won the World Road Race Championship in Norway, a victory that announced his arrival on the world stage. This win was remarkable for its aggressive and confident style, with Armstrong breaking away from the pack in difficult conditions to claim the title. In addition to the World Championship, Armstrong garnered other notable wins and performances in his early professional years. He won a stage in the Tour de France in 1993, showcasing his potential in the world's most prestigious cycling race. He also won the Classica de San Sebastian in 1995 and had a successful run in the Tour DuPont, winning it twice, which was America's premier cycling race at the time. Even in his early years, Armstrong was known for his aggressive racing style and remarkable physical endurance. He was a fierce competitor, often pushing himself to the limits. His ability to endure pain and his mental toughness were evident in his races, qualities that would later define his cycling persona. Despite these successes, Armstrong's early career was not without challenges. He showed great promise in one-day races but initially struggled in the longer stage races, which required different strategies and endurance. However, he was quickly learning and adapting, demonstrating his potential to excel in multi-stage events like the Tour de France. Armstrong's rising career was abruptly interrupted in 1996 when he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. The diagnosis was a severe shock, as Armstrong was just 25 and at the peak of his physical fitness. The cancer had spread to his lungs and brain, posing a significant threat to his life and career. This diagnosis marked the end of the first chapter of Armstrong's cycling career and the beginning of a remarkable and challenging journey. The early part of Lance Armstrong's life and career was characterized by a swift ascent in the world of cycling, marked by notable victories and the establishment of a reputation as a fierce and talented competitor. His transition from a promising amateur to a professional, and the subsequent early successes, laid the foundation for his later, more complex legacy in the sport. Armstrong's world turned upside down in 1996 when he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. The cancer had spread to his lungs and brain, and his prognosis was grim. His battle with the disease was grueling, but Armstrong emerged victorious, beating cancer against considerable odds. His recovery and return to cycling were nothing short of miraculous. In 1999, just a few years after his diagnosis, he won the Tour de France, the most prestigious event in cycling. It was a victory that captivated the world and made him a symbol of hope and resilience. Armstrong's dominance in the Tour de France continued for years. He won 7 consecutive titles from 1999 to 2005, an unprecedented achievement. His dominance in this grueling 3-week event, which covers around 3,500 kilometers through the mountainous terrain of France and neighboring countries, was unparalleled. During these races, Armstrong excelled in individual time trials and mountain stages, which are often decisive in the Tour. His time trialing prowess, where he competed alone against the clock, was particularly notable. In the mountains, he showed remarkable endurance and strength, often distancing himself from rivals on steep climbs like Alpe d'Huez and Mont Ventoux. Armstrong's team, U.S. Postal Service, played a crucial role in his success. The team was meticulously organized and focused on supporting Armstrong's overall victory. Teammates like George Hincapie and Floyd Landis worked as domestiques, setting a pace in the mountains or shielding him from wind to conserve his energy. Lance Armstrong's era in the Tour de France was marked by intense rivalries with several key cyclists. These rivalries added to the drama and allure of the Tour during his reign from 1999 to 2005. Perhaps the most famous of Armstrong's rival was Jan Ullrich, the German cyclist who won the Tour de France in 1997. Ullrich was seen as Armstrong's primary competitor for several years. They had a rivalry that was as much about mutual respect as it was about intense competition. Ullrich was known for his time trialing capabilities and strong climbing skills, making him a formidable opponent in the mountains and on flat stages. Their duels, particularly in the mountains, were epic. Notably, in 2000, Armstrong's sportsmanship was on display when he waited for Ulrich after the German crashed on a descent during a Pyrenean stage. Despite their rivalry, there was a sense of camaraderie between the two. Marco Pantani, the renowned Italian climber, was another significant rival, especially in the mountainous stages of the Tour. Known as Il Pirata, Pantani's climbing prowess was legendary, and his duels with Armstrong in the Alps and Pyrenees were some of the most thrilling moments in Tour history. Alexander Vinokourov, known for his attacking style and resilience, was another notable adversary. His daring breakaways and aggressive tactics often forced Armstrong and his team to respond, adding to the strategic complexity of the races. Jospa Boloki was another rival who consistently challenged Armstrong in the early 2000 seconds. Their competition reached a climax in the 2003 Tour de France, where a dramatic crash on a descent effectively ended Boloki's challenge that year. These rivalries defined Armstrong's time in the Tour de France, adding layers of strategy, drama, and excitement to the race. They not only tested Armstrong's physical limits but also his mental and tactical acumen, making his victories all the more significant in the annals of cycling history. His success brought him international fame and turned him into an inspirational figure, especially for those battling cancer. He founded the Lance Armstrong Foundation, which raised millions for cancer research and support. However, Armstrong's career was marred by persistent doping allegations. The culture of doping in cycling was widespread during his era, and Armstrong was at the center of these accusations. The United States Anti-Doping Agency report in 2012 detailed how Armstrong and his team engaged in an elaborate and sophisticated doping program, which was one of the most extensive in the sport's history. The doping methods included the use of erythropoietin, a hormone that boosts red blood cell count to enhance endurance. Armstrong and his teammates also used blood transfusions, whereby they would reinfuse their own blood, enriched with oxygen-carrying red cells, to boost performance. Other substances, such as testosterone, cortisone, and human growth hormone, were also used. The system of doping was highly organized. The team had doctors, trainers, and team directors involved in the scheme, ensuring that the drugs were administered in a way to avoid detection. Armstrong himself was a key figure in this system, encouraging, and in some cases, pressuring teammates to participate in doping to ensure the team's success. In January 2013, in an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Armstrong admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs during his cycling career. His confession was a significant moment in sports history, marking the downfall of one of the most iconic athletes. The aftermath of his admission was severe. He faced legal battles, lost endorsements, and stepped down from his role in the Livestrong Foundation. Armstrong's story is complex, marked by both extraordinary achievements and profound failings. His journey through triumph, disgrace, and the ongoing process of redemption reflects the multifaceted nature of his character and career. Despite his tarnished legacy, Armstrong's initial victories and his fight against cancer continue to be sources of inspiration for many. His story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of ethics in sports. In recent years, he has attempted to rebuild his life and image, engaging in media and business ventures and reflecting on his past actions and their consequences. In recent years, Armstrong has sought to rebuild his life and reputation, engaging in various business ventures and participating in podcasts and interviews where he reflects on his life, mistakes, and the lessons he's learned. His story remains a powerful narrative about the heights of human achievement and the depths of deception, a cautionary tale about the perils of ambition unchecked by ethical considerations. The revelation of Armstrong's doping had a profound impact on the world of cycling and sports in general. It led to increased scrutiny on doping practices and intensified efforts to clean up the sport. Armstrong faced numerous legal challenges, lost his endorsements, and his reputation was irrevocably damaged. Armstrong's life story remains a powerful narrative about resilience, deception, and the human spirit, encapsulating both the brightest and darkest aspects of sports and personal ambition.